friends. Welcome to tuning into Universal Talks once again, where I am joined with Sonya Wilder. Hi,
Hi.
how
Hi.
are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
I am well. I am well. Thank you.
Good. I know you've been pounding out the chats, and that's really good.
Yes, yes, this podcast is growing legs finally. It's fun.
I know it is. Okay, so I'm going to introduce you.
Okay.
I feel like you need to be introduced because you're doing all this work. Okay. And I'm reading this from your website, Kenny Baker III or Kenneth Baker 3, Zen Ken Yoga. Okay, this is Kenneth. Kenneth is a quantum healer, more specifically, an energy transmuter. I love that. Dedicated to facilitating healing and transformation through the manipulation and transformation of subtle energies. How cool is that? As a quantum healer, I utilize quantum principles to address imbalances and promote overall well being. I work with your energy field to identify blockages and restore harmony, drawing upon the wisdom of the universe to guide the healing process. That's so cool. I love that you do that.
Thank you.
As an energy transmuter, I can convert negative energy into positive vibrations, balance energy flow, and facilitate the healing process. This involves working with subtle energies such as bioenergy and prana to promote healing and transformation. And you are Beyond Quantum Healing BQH certified practitioner. And you also do Quantum Connects too, correct?
I do. Yes.
Ah,
Yeah, that's one of my newer things that I'm certified in, and it's fun. It's like a for those who aren't ready to fully have a immersive experience or just to dip their toe into a hypnotherapy session. So it's a fun little thing I've been starting to do.
good. I'm glad that you love that. That's so cool.
Yes. Well, thank you. I don't know if I've ever had an introduction before. That felt
You
good.
do. You have to have actually you're a powerful,
Thank
powerful
you.
practitioner. You're a quantum healer, of course.
Thank you. Thank you. And this, I'll read your bio too, because I just don't even know where to begin to explain the amazingness that Sonya is.
You can just
Um,
read my certifications.
right? I'm just saying, like, where do I even begin? I'm still learning more from you to every single day, every day. So pretend that I am Sonya, because I'm going to personify I. I was born conscious of being energy in a human body. My life has been incredibly difficult, starting at about age 10, being very sick, disconnected, fragmented, and clearing ancestral programs. Though through this difficulty, I was called to back into the heart. This is beautiful. I don't think I've ever read this before.
You
Not like
haven't?
this. Not fully, no. A relaxed feeling. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped a part. Living from your heart is the simple feeling of awareness and presence. A relaxed feeling where we allow ourselves to be in the present moment. And this is how I guide people through healing the ego, the fears, the past, the anticipation of future, to heal themselves to be fully present right here, right now. That's beautiful. Through compassion, empathy, and inner strength. She is trained and certified through many schools, teachers, and life experiences, and has multiple healing modalities. Like it's truly phenomenal. We will put all the links in the description. She is a hypnotist, medical intuitive, psychic, medium, nutritionist, cleanse counselor, aromatherapist, body worker, energy healer, light linguist, clear channel, yogi, yoga teacher, life guide, conscious parent, and she uses light language, energy healing, and crystals to create higher vibrations. Wow.
It's all true.
Wow, Sonia. And just speaking from experience of just my own connection with you, you were just how I explained to other people, you were just an endless fountain of knowledge and information. And just it's honored, truly. It's truly honored to share space with you.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you. I joke I'm a walking Wikipedia, but I don't think that would get
Truly.
actually. I'm a walking
I
encyclopedia.
debate sometimes, like, am I going to Google this or just ask Sonia? Like,
If it's about health and wellness, you can definitely
exactly.
ask
Yep.
me. If it's about
100%.
like the English language, I don't know, it'd be a little questionable. If it's about mechanics, I could probably take a stab at it.
Yeah. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I appreciate you and I love you.
Love you, and I appreciate you so much. And I love this. This is so fun.
It is a lot of fun. You had mentioned that you had uh, an encounter, a download. How do you want to phrase what happened
Okay.
to you last night?
So what happened? Because as you know, we're in a huge, huge shift as we are moving towards, first of all, we're moving towards All Hallows Eve. This is the
Yep.
end of October 2024. This is a
Yep.
very intense time, and we are moving towards the month of November, which has some of the most intense and powerful planetary alignments, stargates, and portals that are opening.
Hmm.
And it's
With
no accident.
astrologer on this list, you're an astrologer.
Yeah, I
Like
am
I'm
an
saying, this list is not
on
even
that
it,
list.
people.
It
It's not
is.
it. It's endless.
Astrology is on that list.
Is
Yes,
it?
it should be. I'm pretty sure I put it on my website. It's on there. My certifications does have astrology.
I don't see
Um,
it on here.
really, I'll put
Gotta
it on
fix
there.
that. Yeah.
It's always been on there. That was my very first certification
Right. Yeah.
was astrology in 1988. So,
Hmm.
yes. So, because we're moving towards all of these huge planetary shifts, and you had shared on our signal group of our quantum healer besties earlier, you had shared this amazing planetary,
Yeah.
the trinity between water
Let's see if I
and
can pull it up. Yeah.
you had shared that. So I shared that with my oldest son, Colby, who's also an astrologer. Yes. Yep. It's the Star of David is what it is.
Hope it's going
That's
to
the Star of
focus.
David.
There we go.
And that's
Yeah.
I did not know about that because I'm not following. So that's more of a minor aspects
Okay.
figuration. There is major aspects in that, but it's more of a minor aspects. And I was not following that. I follow other astrologers who do that work for me because I just don't have time.
Yeah.
I don't have a computer program to do that with. But
Hmm.
anyway, that's coming up and that's really powerful. So I was preparing for this today and went to bed a little bit earlier, which I should do every night. And I started to try to go to sleep and I was super, super tired and I could not get settled. And I'm like, okay, there's all this electricity going through my body. I'd already done my bedtime wind down routine, just kind of laying there, tossing and turning a little bit, trying to let go of everything. And then went into the dark period as we always do. You go into your blackout period for like 3 hours before all of your lucid starts. As lucid began for me, probably like at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., activations began. And everybody goes through this to some degree or another, depending on how conscious you are
Sure.
of your lucid time, which starts usually between 2 a.m. and will go all the way until 6 or 7 a.m., depending on how long you allow yourself to sleep. I'm going through this, and suddenly I'm in a high council meeting. High council meeting. So this isn't just my spirit council, which is at this point thousands.
Hmm. Yeah.
This is like, it's so crowded. There are probably billions of energies, souls, spirits that are helping. And it is this massive download of genealogy, bloodlines, ancestral
Mhm.
connections of things that are coming up. They're literally bringing up codes up through my DNA, bringing it up to my awareness. And, mind you, this is something that I'm really been working on this year, not
Hmm.
only through my monthly donation-based quantum healing webinars.
Hmm.
This has been a focus that the guides, the higher galactics and the angelics and the archangelics and the ascended masters have been bringing through for the different themes of this year, which all are like breadcrumbs that lead us into a state of higher consciousness because we can't take it all at once. If we took the download at once, our bodies would spontaneously combust.
For
So we have
sure.
to take the information in
Yep.
increments.
You don't feed a baby a steak.
Well, not
I think
ever in my
that's
world.
one of Dolores Cannon's quotes. I will never forget that. You don't want to feed a baby a steak.
No, not ever. But
Right, true, but bite sizes.
no, you don't want to give a baby an apple in my world. No, you want to give
Uh,
a baby an apple, you'd want to give a baby breast milk and then start put the
right.
baby on apple puree with breast milk.
Uh-huh. Hmm. Sounds good today. Shit.
Yes. So the bits and pieces that the guides are giving me, and I've noticed that each time I get a download, it coincides, of course, with bigger gateways aligning and big portals. So when you shared that on our signal thread today, this morning for me, since I'm towards the end of the world here,
Mhm.
I was like, oh, no wonder that they are downloading me with more information because we're coming to this huge, and it's a Star of David. It's a portal.
It's beautiful.
And I'm like, okay, and no wonder this coincides with, the election time and all of that, which is that's the
Yeah.
dark side of going here, let's sleight of hand, look over here instead of seeing the big thing that's happening
Yep.
here. Pay attention to this, put all of your energy, your time, and the majority of the world does do that, except for those of us that are here to help awaken people. We
Yep.
have to go, yeah, I'm not playing that game. What's really going on? And we're the ones that have to go within and say, okay, here's what's really going on. Stargates are opening and aligning on November 5th instead.
Yep.
Yes. All Hallows Eve is coming up on October 31st. And
Mhm.
that's more important because that's the death of the old
Right.
to November 1st, which is then a whole new portal, whole new alignment coming up. The information that's coming up for all of us, this isn't just exclusive to me. This is for everybody. And it's up to everybody to say to your guides before you go to sleep, I'm open to receive the information that's coming up from my DNA, guides, council, whatever you call your higher ups. Please help me to stay lucid while I sleep so that I can download this information and become more conscious
Hmm.
of myself, of what's going on in the world and how I impact the world, what I'm giving out to the world in order to raise the consciousness of the collective.
Yes.
That's what I'm doing here. That's what this is about right now. That's why this is important that I share this here.
Yes. When you told me, I was like, ooh, yes, I'm very anxious in a good way to hear about it.
We are learning about our bloodline lineages. We are learning
Mhm.
more about our DNA. We are learning about our connection with the reptilians.
Yeah.
And there's positive reptilians and there's negative reptilians, and both of them are playing out
Thank
a
you. Yes.
There are.
Yep.
I am connected to one of my very beautiful higher vibrational feminine reptilians that actually came through in a BQH session. I'm pretty sure it was one of my first sessions I had with Nina, Rafaela Morocco Zara, like several years ago.
Hmm.
And this higher reptilian guide that I have, she's me, I'm her in the Orion's belt. She has these beautiful pastel colored scales that are like pink and lavender and lighter blue and lighter green.
Yeah.
And she's these beautiful golden eyes that are massive. Her nose is very beautiful. Her mouth is super tiny. She glistens. She came through so many years ago. And when she came through, and her heart is open. She doesn't have an emotional body. Reptilians don't have an emotional body, but her
Right.
heart, she's coming from her heart. So
Hmm.
her mind and heart are connected. And
Yeah.
so she's feeling everything. We don't need an emotional body to feel everything. We just need to
No.
connect mind to heart.
Hmm.
So this is what we're being asked to tune into is the higher aspects of ourselves, like the higher reptilian aspect, the higher draconian aspect, because the draconians are not all about, soothsaying, slaying and hack them up and the caste system. The higher draconians have evolved above the physical. The
Yeah.
higher draconians are not about, and they are about integrity. Now that I brought that up,
Yeah.
because I'm like asking them to give me this information in succession because I will sometimes try to overwrite it and talk too much. And
Yeah.
so I'm doing my best to slow down and to more channel this information.
Yeah.
The higher aspect of our higher self is integrity. How you align with your higher self is through being integrous or
Say that
integrous.
again. What was it? What was that
Integrous,
part?
to be integrous, and to have
Integrous.
integrity is to be integrous with
Okay.
yourself. Integrous, integrous.
Integrous. Okay.
Oh, the whole point of having integrity with yourself is being impeccable with your word. That wonderful. Toltec wisdom, the
Yep.
four agreements. It's
Yep.
one of them. Be impeccable with your word. Might be the first one. Be
Might
impeccable
be.
with
I have it here
your
somewhere actually. Yeah.
it's so essential. This is how we come from having that total unintentional, unconscious left brain and right brain behavior
Hmm.
into, and we're still going to have that duality because we're in the third dimension, and the third dimension is about living in integrity,
Yeah.
to be conscious. In order to merge them, like what we talk about in yoga, the pranayama, the breathing techniques bring you into a merging of the left and the right brain, and it becomes the God mind or the God brain.
Yep.
How you come into that is through not only breath work, but through integrity. And when you come into what's called the God brain in yoga, you come into the higher self or the higher mind,
Hmm.
because the higher self is the future self, and the higher self lives in integrity. That means that what you say is matches your actions.
Yeah.
And we find that humans mostly don't live in integrity. I'm going to say this, but then I'm going to change my mind when some sparkly, fun little bobbly thing comes in, and I'm going to chuck that and I'm going to go with that
Oh
because I'm
yeah.
going with ego. I'm going with the lower mind.
Especially with media. Yeah, there's so many different personas and just ways that people are presenting themselves when it's not even who they are. So we don't live in an authentic reality. It can be difficult for many. I get it.
Totally.
Yeah.
This is how we come out of it. So I have been presented this year with two particular tests. One is with relationships, the relationships with people that I'm really close with.
Hmm.
And then two is with my work, my business.
Yeah.
In regards to relationship, and this is what the council is bringing in with me in the middle of the night. All of this goes back to the council coming in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
You're being tested with integrity, self-integrity. So one of my close relationships was mirroring to me that and in this relationship, this person is saying one thing and doing the opposite, saying one thing and doing the opposite forever.
Hmm.
And I recognize it right away. I'm like, that's the Gemini archetype. It's my sun sign. I have a Gemini stellium. And so all these people with strong Gemini have been coming into me throughout my life, coming into my world, my field throughout my life, and sharing with me that downfall of Gemini, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, the angel
Yeah.
and the.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this to you, and I'm literally going to, in 2 seconds, turn around and do the exact opposite because I'm going by my ego and I'm not impeccable with my word.
Hmm.
You don't have to have strong Gemini in your chart to display this behavior, by the way, but everybody does display Gemini in their chart because everybody does have Gemini sitting somewhere in their chart.
Hmm.
Astrology moment, look at the third house in your chart. It is traditionally ruled by Gemini. Look at what house in your chart is ruled by Gemini. It will be a different house than the third house unless you're Aries rising. If you're Aries rising, then Gemini will rule your third house.
Okay.
Yes, but if you're not Aries rising, look in your chart wheel, your natal chart to see which house Gemini rules, and that's the area of your life where Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde plays out, where you need to bring more integrity
Gotcha.
life. And let's see, I'm scanning. You're Gemini rising, so it's the third house, so it's the first house for you. It's the
Hmm.
first house for you. It's the house of the body, the self.
Hmm.
So where are you saying one thing and doing the opposite with your body?
Right. Yeah.
Yep. Where are you saying one thing and doing the opposite with the self, with your lower self, with your higher
Hmm.
self?
Yeah.
Where are you not being impeccable with your word, with yourself?
I think
So
what I would relate that to in current terms is like imposter syndrome for me, at least.
it is imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. For me, because Virgo is my ascendant that rules my first house, it's my 10th house, the house of career, my reputation, my my status. And I
Hmm.
have a Gemini stellium in my 10th house. I have a lot of planets in Gemini in the 10th house. So here's the second aspect. Not only has it been a test for me with integrity with relationships, seeing how people who come in and say one thing to me and then do the opposite, but then they come to me looking for life coaching and health coaching, and they tell me what they think I want to hear, and then they go off and do the opposite, and I give them solutions for their problems, and then they come back to me, they didn't do the solution, and they continue to complain about the same problem, and this goes on year after year after year.
Mhm.
And I'm like, you're not listening to me. You're not listening to me. Why? This is exhausting. This is pulling my energy. That's how people become energy vampires.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Second relationship was a romantic sexual relationship that was going on for multiple years. You know what I'm talking about. And it was my saying to this man, holding boundaries, saying, I am not going to go into any sort of relationship with you until we establish these type of boundaries. And he was maneuvering around those boundaries, and I wasn't holding my integrity with that, and I was letting him come in anyway.
Yeah.
Even though I had said, we're not going to establish, I'm not going to try to establish a friendship unless you go by these terms that I'm saying, because I need to get to know you and I need to learn to trust you. And he was seducing and coming around and seducing, and my inner child was falling for that. And what does that bring me to reveal within myself? This is for anybody. It's revealing to me what it is that my inner child is still wanting. And it's revealing to me, and here's where integrity comes in. It's revealing to me the work that I still need to do with my inner child.
Yep.
So here's the thing, and I shared this with you. I shared this with you, and you helped me through this over the last month. You helped me so much. Thank you for being my mirror divine masculine.
Right back at you, lady. I love
I
you.
know. What did it help me see? And this is what the guides are bringing in the council in the middle of the night. They were showing me all of these different moments, and they're saying, look at this, and you're learning integrity through him. It showed me that my inner child is still looking to be the most important with my father. And I wasn't the most important with my father. And my father let me know constantly when I was growing up that I wasn't the most important with him. I was the third child. I was the second daughter. So he would literally refer to me as daughter number 2 sometimes.
Yeah. And on a child's psyche, that's just, ugh.
My
Yeah.
sister was daughter number 1 and I was daughter number 2. And my mom, I mean, like how Chinese past life, traditional Chinese past life can you get on that one? Oh,
Mhm.
you know there's a traditional Chinese past life on that one.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
daughter number 1, daughter number 2, daughter
Right.
number 1, possession, daughter number 2. And so it literally played out throughout my childhood. My sister got all the girl things, and because Julie got all the girl things, Sonya was left with hers, and Sonya got to pick orange because pink was a girl's thing, and 1960s, 70s garbage, traditional garbage. But so that was really presenting to me. It was the guides were saying to me, you must become aware still of the wounds that your inner child is holding onto, because they're holding you back from having a broader consciousness and realizing how integrated you are, because you have all of these portals and gateways opening up, and you don't want to take those wounds through that gateway in November with you.
No.
This is for everybody.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
aware of your inner child wounds, because where we're going in 2025 is so massive. It's only going to get harder as we go to 2029, when the asteroid Apophis comes within 200,000 miles of Earth's atmosphere. Look it up, nasa.com. It's on NASA, Apophis.
Okay.
Look it up. It's important. And according to the guides, what they're sharing with me in all these council meetings in the middle of the night is that Apophis is going to bring another global virus with it.
Great.
Because we're still getting sleight of hand distracted. Oh, look over here, but don't look at what's really going on within yourself.
Yeah.
Look out without over here.
Yeah.
Here's election garbage, and here's,
All the stuff in Hollywood right now,
all
even
the
just,
stuff up in Hollywood's
oh
falling.
my
And
God. Yeah.
watch what and see what your favorite pop singers, if they're breaking up, and look at over here and look over there, and oh, there's starving children in Africa, and it's
And
like,
aliens.
and there's aliens landing on the rooftop of the White
Yeesh.
House in Washington D.C.
Yeah.
And first contact is going to happen.
First contact, yes. Yeah.
Now I'm thinking first. I had first contact in 1984, 84. I had my first contact in 1984 when I was 16, 17 years old. Maybe that
Hmm.
was 85. My timelines are off. 85. I was 17 and 85.
Okay.
Those are
Jeez.
hard times. The 80s was tough. I
Yeah.
had first contact then. I literally had a scout ship that was flying in the woods of northern Minnesota. I told you that story a long time
Hmm.
ago.
Yeah, I
It
love that story.
was awesome. The colored lights, it was a circular disc, and I
Fast.
could hear it. It was making a swooshing sound. I was freaked out the whole time. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, can I make it home? I was in the dark.
And that's surprising because a lot of the encounters that I hear, they're calm, they're not scared. So that's cool. That just shows that your frequency was matching for them to present themselves
Oh,
versus,
they were trying to wake me the fuck up
yeah,
as they
yeah,
tried. They were like, hey, because I had just come from a kegger party in the butt fuck nowhere of
exactly.
northern Minnesota on the Ojibwe land. And they were like, hey, it's time for you. I made Ouija boards. I thought I was a witch. I was doing Ouija boards. They're like, hey,
Right,
hey,
right.
stop that. That's not your path. My path is galactic human.
Mhm.
So, so
100%.
anyway, that's what all of this is about. So the inner child wounds are coming up for all of us. And so they were
Yeah,
presenting that, saying if you're going to align with integrity and bring your higher self in more, you've got to see these wounds of your inner child, and you have to have these conversations with your inner child now
yes,
constantly. And it isn't
yes.
about, it's not about judging your inner child. It's not about disciplining your inner child. I used to think that that was it. I used to think it was about disciplining my inner child. No, that's an old reptilian draconian way. That's old.
Mm-hmm.
It is about communicating and having conversations with your inner child and saying, okay, what is it that you need? Because you are your inner child's parent.
Exactly.
It's us.
Yep.
So it's about, I have been literally having conversations for the last couple of weeks, Kenneth, with my inner child saying, what do you need? And my inner child saying, I need attention.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
I need to know that I am the most important. I am everything to you, that you see me, that you feel me, that you hear me, that I'm everything. Yes, you are the most important. I got you, kiddo.
Hmm. Yeah. What do you
You're
want to do?
mine.
Do you want to sing? Do you want to dance? Do you want to, yeah.
Mommy's here for you.
Yep. Do you want to cry?
And my inner child's like, I got to know that I'm more important than Colby. I've got to know that I'm more important than Mars. I've got to know that I'm more important than Kyan. You are. You're the most
Yes.
important. You're my first kid. You came first
Yeah.
before my other three kids. Okay. And then I could literally feel as I'm having these conversations throughout the day with my inner child, I could literally feel my heart start to open up, energy start to flow. I felt the solar plexus start to activate. I felt the sacral start to open up. I felt the root start to activate. I'm like, oh, wow, I'm having a physical sensation with this. This is really cool.
I love
So
that.
the guides in the middle of the night, they're presenting this and they're saying, you must keep this dialogue going with your inner child.
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, I got it. And then they're saying, and this is something that you and I've talked about with trading with our sessions. I have been presented with a potential new client, a potential trade, and my new client is selling a scalar wave patch. I'm
Hmm.
very skeptical about this. I get very skeptical about these things because
Yeah.
I've learned that this scalar wave patch company is a MLM, a multi-level marketing company, and they are owned by the Mormons.
Oh,
I've done them before. I did doTERRA, I did
yeah.
Avon, I never did Amway, but I mean, they started this in the 1970s. They created multi-level marketing MLMs.
Yeah.
LDS did. And there's a lot of big hype, there's a lot of big marketing. They're brilliant. They put trillions of dollars into these MLMs. And I know that red light therapy patches, I know a couple of people, a couple of my clients, they use them, they swear by them. They're supposed to help you with skin issues, keep your body more in alignment, help you with everything, everything. I get it. They just literally mirror back to you your own light back to your body so that it doesn't leak out.
Hmm.
And with Wi-Fi, with all of the low frequencies, with 5G, our energy is definitely leaking, which
Oh,
is why
yeah.
we're experiencing all of the health imbalances that we have.
Yeah.
I have my own physical issues with it, I know. So this potential client, she is She pitched a trade to me. She wants a quantum healing session. I do not trade for quantum healing sessions.
Okay.
I do trade for my online healing sessions, which are not quantum healing. She's not interested in that. She's interested in my BQH sessions. I don't trade. Here's another test of integrity.
Yeah.
It's like the inner child goes, oh, yeah, but that's red light therapy. And we've really been wanting to work with red light therapy. We really want a red light therapy box. And these are patches. And immediately it's like the stop, breathe, check in with the body. How does the body feel about this? The body's going, I'm skeptical. Let's do more research. So we go online. We do more research. We go on Reddit. We read all kinds of people's information on Reddit about it. Suddenly on Reddit, it's all a scam and it's a multi-level marketing. I'm like, okay, let's dive. Let's go on that thread. People are posting links, et cetera, et cetera. And that's showing me integrity. Continue to do this. And I'm like, yeah, but this is a potential client. And I don't want to shut her out because she needs help. So we're going to have a phone consultation.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm
Just
excited to
a
see how
phone
that pans
consultation.
out.
I'm
Hmm.
gonna let you know. So the guides in the middle of the night are saying, we've given you these opportunities to hold integrity,
Yeah.
and you're doing beautifully. And so because I'm holding integrity, I suddenly get downloaded with all of this genealogy. So they're talking to me about the bloodlines and how they connect to the galactic bloodlines. So
Mhm.
all of a sudden, all this energy comes in after I go through all this preliminary, everything that I just shared up to this point. And then they're saying to me, we want you to know that you picked your father. You picked your father and your father's bloodline
Yeah.
because your father's bloodline, they are powerful. You needed that Wilder, and they didn't say Wilder at first. I kept saying words like, "Oh, my clairs come on" when I'm in the middle of meetings. I'll see words, I'll hear things, I'll hear
No,
words.
when I
I'll
just to interrupt, when you first when we first connected in this physical life, and I saw that your last name was Wilder, I thought that was a business name. And then just the just the fact, like or just a way to explain your personality, because I'm like, yeah, she's Wilder. She for sure.
Wilder is Germanic in its origin, and it comes from Wilder, Wilder.
Okay.
Wilder, the Wilders.
I love
The
etymology. I love it.
the Wilders are a tribe. They are a Germanic warrior, fighting, farming, growing tribe. Think
I
that
see that.
region of the world. Germany, Austria, Poland. Think about the Polish during World War II. Fist fighting the fucking Germans, the fucking Nazis. Think about that. That is the bloodline that the primarily my father's family comes from.
Hmm.
They got tired of just surviving in that area as tribes, and many of them migrated west and ended up in parts of what we now think of as the United Kingdom. And it was England. And my dad's family settled in southern England and became servants to the lords and the ladies. And English-fied, that don't look that up. That's not a word. I just made it up. English-fied themselves and changed the Y to an I and changed the V to a W because in English, the W is wa, not
Hmm.
V.
Right.
Made themselves wilder.
Gotcha.
That's where that comes.
Fascinating. Fascinating.
So the guides were sharing with me that I needed my father's bloodline. And then all of a sudden, I see this really cool line, this light, white light with some green in it line. And they showed it. It goes all the way back. And suddenly I'm looking at this digital map. It's like I'm in the screening room, on the hologram, the holodeck that's on the Enterprise. And
Okay.
showing me this huge screen, and they're showing me Europe, and it looks a little bit different. It changed. All of a sudden, it started to morph and change as the tectonic plates change and everything. And they're showing me back, 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 back. And suddenly I see Wilder, and they're saying the Wilder tribe. And
Hmm.
I'm like, wow. And they said, your bloodline through your father goes back to that. And all of a sudden, I see these burly dudes with like big like skirts and fur things and
Yeah.
slings. They got clubs and they've made their own machetes and they're like out and they're fighting. They're fighting. They're fighting the Africans. They're fighting anybody who's come into their land. They're fighting them. And they said, I said, well, what are they like? And my guides are so funny. They they took this out of my psyche from my childhood. They said, just think of the Wilders as rock'em sock'em robots.
Oh my gosh. I love that.
And I see the red one and I see the blue one in the little box.
Right. Yeah.
And I laughed. Then I went, that's so funny. And I woke myself up.
Oh my
Saying
gosh.
that out loud. I'm like, you guys are so funny. And then I went, oh. And then I said, oh, wait, what's going on? And I literally felt this energy reach down and pull me back up. And they said, no, we're not done yet. And they pulled me up out of my body. And they said, you got to come back in. And I said, okay. I'm like, did I almost wake myself up? And they said, you're fine. You're good. And they said, so just know the Wilders are very grounded and are very invested in the third dimension and are very physical. And you need that in order to stay in your body because you're such a high frequency that if you didn't have that energy, you would leave the body so quickly and so easily as you've experienced multiple times throughout your life. So I need my dad's lineage to stay grounded in this body. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to stay here and be physical. Then they show me my mom's family, which is Finnish, and then there's Italian, and then there's Asian in there, and there's Laplander and all of that.
Mhm.
And they said, your mother's line is where all of your psychic abilities come from. And then they showed it to me and they said it leads back to Middle Earth and the Fae, the fairies.
Oh, I can see that. I can see that.
And her line was
For
like blue
sure.
and indigo and purple, and her line dance, dance, and all of a sudden they take me out of the 3D and they bring me into Middle Earth and they show me the Fae, and I see FAE, and they show me the fairies, and they said, this is where your mother's lineage comes from.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, wow. And they said, then that's literally on planet Earth. It's just in a different realm of the third dimension. Middle Earth is a different realm of the third dimension.
Mm-hmm.
So they're sharing all this with me so that I can really get more of a full consciousness scope
Yeah.
of why I'm here and what I'm doing and how to heal the inner child. And they said, continue to live in your integrity, continue to practice integrity because it's going to help you to raise your frequency, to broaden your consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to share this with the world. You have to bring this forward in your monthly quantum healing donation-based webinars. You have to bring this in through your sessions. You have to do this in, they mentioned you and they said you have to talk about this with Kenneth and Universal Talks, and you have to bring this into your Quantum Healer Besties trio with Nina
Yeah.
and Kenneth and you have to bring that, you have to share this in your vlogs. You have to share this information.
Yes. We're at a
People,
sharing age and era for sure.
yes.
Everyone is just at a point where like we're understanding it's better together. Like just plain and simple.
Yeah, we have to really start to come out of what we think we know about our lineage and our genealogy, and we have to pull back. And then they said, and my father's family, his lineage goes all the way back to the reptilians and the draconians, which are two different planets, two different
Yep.
star systems in Orion's belt. And they said that connects to both of them. And they said, and my mom's lineage goes back to Arcturians and Syrians.
Mm.
And so it's really important that we understand where this comes from because it helps us to connect with all of those different aspects of ourselves. We call ourselves starseeds, but yet we're here to be human. We're here to be physical. We're here to be galactic humans.
Yes. Multi-dimensional. Yes.
To realize that we are multi-dimensional. We already are this. We're starting to realize our
Yes.
multidimensionality.
Yep.
But they were sharing with me, and this was the end of the meeting that they were sharing with me. This is preparing you. And they said, and there's so many of you that are awakeners on this planet. This is preparing you for actual physical face-to-face contact with ET brothers and sisters. And they said it will be with the Pleiadians first
I have
because
heard that.
there's
Yep.
such a genetic closeness to the Pleiadians. They've
Right.
said this will happen by 2030 and that we will be having physical contact and it will be with Pleiadians first.
Okay.
For all of us,
Yes. Yeah.
not just myself or not just, quantum
No.
healers,
No.
those of us who literally do quantum healers work with quantumhealers.com and Candace and everybody, they are like, this is for all of you that are on the path of higher consciousness.
Yeah. The new Earth. It's true new Earth is how I view it for people who like words and terms, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
amazing. Absolutely
That's
amazing.
what I wanted to share. It's just that little bit.
Thank you. Just that little tidbit. Oh, yeah, I've been itching to hear. I resonate deeply with all of that. All of it.
That's why I said this is so big. We have to do this as a universal talks. I'm not going to just leave this as our signal audio because that would have been like a 30-minute audio.
Right.
I would have shrunk it down. I would have made it really succinct. But no, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to share this with everybody. This has to be told.
Yes. And I have a couple Universal Talks recorded before this one, but I think I'm gonna jump this one up, especially just because I think it's more pertainable with the times and so I
It's
think
really
this will be the next one that comes out. Yeah.
It's really important. So then here's another little tidbit that they shared with me as I was doing my meditation this morning, because really trying to just like sit here, lay here and receive and download.
Hmm.
And they were showing me, and they didn't give me the specific details, but they were showing me how this connects us and how this connects us and Nina, you and Nina and I.
Mm.
And I said, you have to share with me the tidbits. And they said, just breathe, relax, and go about your day, and all of the details will come to you in increments.
Classic answer.
It is, but this is the game.
Yeah.
This, for me to, because what they're trying to get me to do is practice more
Slowing
relaxing,
down.
slowing down, which I'm doing to the point where I'm forgetting. I'm
I've
forgetting.
noticed. Yeah. No, I can definitely see the shift in you for sure.
I'm like forgetting that. I'm like, oh, look at the sun out there.
Right.
Oh, what
Yeah.
am I supposed to do? What time is
Right.
it? I have to make money now? Oh, okay.
Uh-huh. Because as you know, like I'm a fast talker too. My East Coast comes out real quick. So with you and me combined, we're just like,
You're Gemini, my Cancer, you're
yes.
Cancer.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you so much
I
for that.
know. So they were what they're sharing with me. What I've assessed so far is that you and I are actually we're from a similar lineage through our moms.
Mhm.
I've gotten that much. They showed me your mom and they showed me my mom. And I was like, what does that mean? And that was when I was literally like doing my yoga practice
Mhm.
much earlier. And I said, what does that mean? And they said, there's a connection between Kenneth's mom and your mom. And I said, as in this life? And they said, no, in a galactic connection.
Mm.
That's all I've gotten so far.
Ooh.
Nina and I, and you and Nina and I all have a Scottish Irish connection.
Yes, for sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
because my father's paternal grandmother was Lillian Mary Coddington.
Hmm.
She was Scots. My father says she was Irish too, but as I've shared with you so many times, he keeps changing his story on that throughout my life.
Oh, yeah, that's very common. Yeah. Like my mom thought she was way more Italian than she was until we did that ancestry thing, which is as accurate as it can be. But we found out that we're way more Scottish Irish than anything else. For me, it's almost equal Scottish Irish and African, but for my mom, it blew her mind how Scottish and Irish she was.
I could totally see that though. I
Oh
could totally
yeah.
see. I
Yeah.
have such a mix. The way that I've been able to do, I mean, we have family genealogists on both sides, my father's and my mother's side.
Hmm.
They're very limited. They're literally
Yes.
going by whatever's written. And I'm like, and I
Yeah.
know it's limited because I've retrieved the information from my own DNA.
Hmm.
During quantum healing sessions and
Hmm.
during my own meditations and lucid states in the middle of the night
Yeah.
and just intuitive psychic knowing.
Right.
As a small child, I knew that we had Asian in my mom's side of the family. I mean, we look Asian. We have Asian looking eyes, and
Hmm.
I've got yellow toned skin.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yep.
My mom had black hair when I was growing up. Her uncle looked Chinese through the Laplander. There's just no way. I kept getting Mongolian, and she kept saying, "Where are you
Hmm.
getting that from? They're not anywhere close to Finland." And I'm like, telling you, there's
It doesn't
Mongolian.
matter. Yeah.
Like it doesn't even matter. There's Mongolian.
No.
And then I had a psychic reading years ago with a colleague and friend of mine, and she's like, she got Japanese right off. And she got that actually a Finnish female ancestor went to Japan in like the 1800s and had an affair with a Japanese man and got
Yep. And that's again, I was going to say a lot of the facts aren't facts because of the hush hush or the slaveries or the misters and the mistresses and just so it's yeah, it's all just it's cool information. It's a fun game, but
all of it. No, I mean, I will go by the psychic information
oh
way,
yeah.
way quicker than I ever will with
Yeah.
what the genealogists think that they know. I'm like, no, you're super.
Right. Especially with my ancestors, mainly a lot being from Africa, there's no way they're gonna have any of those records. Like there are no records. It's like,
There are no records. My kid's father is part Cherokee, and all of those any paperwork of slavery from the slave masters, the Hancock English slave masters, those were deliberately burned in Virginia courthouse fires. And it's amazing how many of my kid's father's family records got burned up. Oh no, that burned up in the Charlotte courthouse fire. I'm like, that wasn't an accident. Oh, I'm sure it wasn't. There's no records. Not even his father had a birth certificate. It got burned
I
in
believe
the
it.
Virginia courthouse fire. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Silly.
No, he didn't have a birth certificate. So many of his relatives don't have birth certificates, but we have pictures of Cherokee ancestors. We literally have them here in this house.
Awesome.
We've got Angeline Rice, who was Cherokee, and we're like, she looks Cherokee. And according to the family, that like what was written down, they think that her father was half Cherokee, but there's no paperwork because everybody's birth certificates got burned.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, in his family, there's African slave lineage. There's no records of any of that. So you have
No.
to bypass that. You have to go into your DNA,
Yes. Yeah.
and that's more reliable. It's totally doable.
Was that one of the first times that you saw it like that? Your genealogy and just the
The way
connection?
the guys presented it to me this morning in the middle of the night,
Yeah.
they've given me bits and pieces throughout the years, but that's the first time that they showed it to me like I'm literally on the holodeck
Mm.
and looking at like a plasma screen in front of me and showing me with a light that was almost like a pointer light thread that they were showing me. That was the first time that they had brought me back to the Wilder tribe and saying, no, this was a tribal nation,
Really?
and showed me my ancestors, just burly guys who literally kind of
I
looked
can
like
see it. That's gonna be my new like mental spirit animal for you. It's just this little
he reminded me of a really dirty version of Bam Bam of the
Oh
Flintstones
my
coming.
gosh, yes, I love that.
Totally like Neanderthal caveman looking dude. It was just
Yep.
really, yeah, but more, I would say more like Liam Neeson in, any of what, like that movie that Liam Neeson did with, oh my gosh, I've totally forgotten her name. And I went to the same high school that she did in northern Minnesota. It'll come to me. Blonde. I could tell you her entire chart. She's a Taurus before I could tell you her name again. But Liam Neeson did that film with her. She played his wife, and he was, Mr. I'll find it. I'll find it and I'll send it to
Yes, please.
Yes, and he's like this Irish Celtic warrior. It
Hmm.
reminds me of that. The Wilders
Okay.
look like just really dirty Irish Celtic warriors, so kind of like the Nords,
Hmm.
like the
Yeah,
Nords.
right.
They were all the same. All these tribes were the same. They were
Yeah.
basically, they were a
Mhm.
white tribe.
Right.
Very low conscious. They were fighting the more established. What they were showing me is that they were fighting those from the south, from the southeast. So I'm guessing more from the Greek Roman area who were trying to come in and sweep across the land and take over land.
Mm,
And they had more money, and obviously they had more education. And these tribes didn't know how to read or write at all.
of course. Yeah.
They were just living off the land.
Yeah.
They were the indigenous of the land. They were probably descendants of the Caucasians of the Caucasus Mountains.
Hmm.
Because they were white. They were white tribes. And all the white
Fascinating.
tribes on this planet are descendants of the Caucasians of the Caucasus Mountains. And this stuff, I mean, you can look that stuff up.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
That's totally documented. So yeah, that's who they were. And that's the first time I've ever seen my father's lineage being brought back to literally a tribe in
Wow.
the Germanic region. And they showed me like, yeah, it was like looking at like a holographic, like, Harry Potter looking in the wishing well and all this like
Right. Yeah.
sucked in, only it was in front of me on a plasma screen. It was like Tom Cruise in Minority Report, where,
Yes. Oh yes, that's a good one. That's a good
oh,
one.
yeah, that's that thing. That's what her name Lisa Jessica Lange in that film. I'll find
Mm.
it. That was a fascinating film.
Yeah, because I don't know much of his filmographies, really.
Liam
Even
Neeson,
though,
my
even though
kids.
my son's name is Liam.
Liam Neeson, he's a Gemini. I could tell you his sign. I could tell you a little bit of
I
his
believe
chart. He's
it.
got a lot of water and a lot of earth in his chart. My kid's father was the dolly grip on their film they did in Central Oregon with Pierce Brosnan back in the early 2000s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I could have met him, but no. And he didn't have very nice things to say about Liam. But Pierce Brosnan was a consummate gentleman and stayed behind and got
Really?
to meet all the crew and shook everybody's hands and gave everybody a little gift of token of thank you for your time and your energy. But Liam,
He seems like he has good energy. That's good to
yes,
know.
yes, yes. He's a
Well, this was
consummate.
all just so fascinating, Sonia. Like I don't
I know we gotta
like
go.
no, not we could talk for hours. I just want to
Too.
like is there how would you want to wrap up this episode for when I put this out of how this all just is synchronistic with the
I
collective,
want to
what's
say,
happening?
I want to share with people that first of all, it's really important that you stop getting distracted by the sleight of hand of looking at this over here. Your vote counts by where you spend your money, and this is global. Your vote counts from where you spend your money.
Yes. Yes.
That we need to stop putting our energy into these external negative consumeristic areas. Because if you want to learn these things about yourself, you've got to spend more time going within. You have to spend more time in meditation and quiet and observation.
Yeah.
You have to pay attention to your body. You have to focus on your passions in life and you have to serve people. That's another really big key. How are you serving people?
Yeah.
Because through service is how you're going to learn these things about yourself as well. Because through service, that's how you broaden your consciousness and you see, oh, everybody's a mirror to me of things about myself.
Yes.
This person showing me about myself, and especially the people that trigger you and don't like you.
Hmm.
That's what this year has been for me, is to really look at, and it's not that I haven't done it before, but this is a year for me where I've really been examining the people that I don't like. What are they showing me about myself that I don't like and I don't want to see?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, yep, I got to look at that. I got to see that because I have to really accept this about myself because, and this is a key as well that I want to finish with.
Yeah.
Your inner child needs compassion, empathy, and understanding.
Yes.
Yep. We
Yeah.
need we need to be much more loving with our inner child because that's how you're going to build inner integrity. Be impeccable with your word. If you're going to say something, then you better think about what you're saying before you say it, and then you're going to need to follow through and stay consistent with it because
Yeah.
the higher self lives in integrity, and that's what's going to bring you into a higher consciousness. You want to get to the fifth dimension in your brainwave frequency, you have to live through integrity.
Period. Mic drop. Thank you.
That's literally the umbrella of all of this is really what this is sharing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you. And especially with current climates with the election. So right around the corner, it's just I can't stand this time in America when it's just like I'm so excited for it to be over. Whatever the fuck happens, I just want it to be over so we can move on and do whatever the fuck needs to be done because I can't stand it. But I digress. I digress. So if anyone tuning in would like to work with either of us, I will put all the links in the description below and we will speak soon in the next episode. Mwah. Much
We
love.
will.
Much love.
Thank you, Kenneth. Mwah. We love you.